Moving on to chapter 6, we have lesson 2 on unit rates. A rate is a ratio of two quantities that have different kinds of units. So we're talking about things like miles per hour, miles per gallon, feet per second, things like that, dollars per pound, all those kind of things where they have different types of units being compared. So we'll set up some rates like that. And then a unit rate has a denominator of 1. What number is the denominator?
The bottom.
The bottom of a fraction. Okay, so we're going to set up some unit rates. After we set up a rate, we'll turn it into a unit rate so that we'll know exactly what we're dealing with. All right, real quick, we'll jump right into some examples. Express each rate as a unit rate. There's a couple of tricks or hints or clues, I guess, I want to give you about setting up unit rates. First hint or clue is this: put money on top. All right, where does money go? Money goes on top. Because let's think about it. Does it make more sense to talk about $11 for 4 boxes of cereal or 4 boxes of cereal for $11? And either way, one of those doesn't seem to matter, but we want to set a unit rate. So I want which number to be 1?
No, the cereal. The denominator.
The denominator. The denominator is going to be 1. So I want to set this number as 1. Let's see what happens when I set that as 1. How do I turn a 4 into a 1?
Divide by 4.
Divide by 4. So what do I need to do to the top number?
Divide by 4.
All right, what's 11 divided by 4?
It's 2.75. Yeah.
2.75. So what does that mean? 2.75 over 1.
$2.75 per 1 box.
$2.75 per 1 box of cereal.
Ooh.
If, I'm going to change colors, we're going to do this a different way. If I had put 4 on top and 11 on bottom, then what do I have to do to turn this into a 1?
You have to be a negative because you have to divide.
It's not going to be negative, it's going to be a small number, but divide by 11, what's 4 divided by 11?
It'd be 1.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 4 divided by 11.
4 divided by 11 is negative.
It's not negative, it can't be negative.
4 it's like, 36 repeated.
0.36?
Yes.
0.36 with the 6 repeating. Okay.
No, everything's repeated.
Oh, both of them repeat. Okay, sorry. Now, think about, hold on, just think for a second. This means that I get 0.36 boxes of cereal for $1. If you go into Walmart, can you tell them, I have $1, I'd like to buy a third of a box of cereal?
No.
You can't do that. They're not going to do that for you. So that's why we want to put money on top, because otherwise things like this work out. So money goes on top so that we don't end up with kind of wacky, weird ratios.
That's weird.
All right? Because if you want to buy 1 box of cereal, you can do that. You know how much it costs. All right? Let's move on. Let's look at the next one. 400 miles on 14 gallons of gas. Think about what number needs to go on top and what number needs to go on bottom. Does it make more sense to talk about miles per gallon or gallons per mile?
Miles per gallon.
Miles per gallon is what we typically think of. So we want to put miles on top. 400 over the number of gallons, 14. How do I turn 14 into 1?
Divide by 4.
Divide by 14. So take 400 divided by 14. Notice that all you're doing is the math here. 400 divided by 14.
28.5.
How much?
28.5.
28.5?
Yeah. 0.6.
Okay, 28.5, 0.6, depending on how you round it. The point I want to make is, what does this mean? 28.5.
28.5
miles on 1 gallon.
Yep, that's talking about the economy of your car. You can go 28.5 miles on 1 gallon of gas. That's not too bad. All right, 100 meters in 14 seconds. Here's another hint. Money goes where?
on top.
Money goes on top. Time will go on bottom. So anytime you have hours, days, months, minutes, seconds, that will always go on bottom. Time goes on bottom. So 100 over 14. And again, I want to talk about meters per second. So how many meters can I go in 1 second? 7.14 meters per second. Alright. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at a couple of examples. Some things that we can do with rates. Why do we care about setting things to unit rates? Well, here's one example. Comparing unit rates. We have an online music store sells 15 songs for $12. Another site sells 10 songs for $9. Which site has the lower cost per song? So we need to set up some unit rates.
12
Where-
over top.
Money goes on top. So we'll have 12 over 15.
9 over 10.
And we want it before we
Oh.
let's find the unit rate. So I want the bottom number to be
1.
1
So
divided by 15.
0.8.
Okay, and what does that mean? 0.8 over 1.
80 cents per song.
80 cents per song. That's exactly what it means. You spend 80 cents. You spend 80 cents to buy each song. Okay? So let's look at the other one. So 9 over 10, $9 for 10 songs. And that's going to be 0.9 over 1. So 90 cents per song. So what's your better deal?
The top one.
This one. This is the better deal. You want to buy your music from this side, it's cheaper. Okay? Alright. You'll be doing some problems like this on your homework today. Now, one other thing that we can do is we can use unit rates to solve problems. Now, here's typically when I go through this lesson, I teach a specific way and make you figure that one out and master it before I teach you a shortcut. I'm trying something different this year. I'm going to give you a shortcut as part of this lesson and see how it goes, and hopefully I'm not shooting myself in the foot for something that we need to do later, but we're going to try it. I want to show you the way I typically do this first. Okay, a car can travel 280 miles on 11 gallons of gas. How many gallons will be used on a trip of 820 miles? Well, the typical way that we need to do this would be to find the unit rate, 280 over 11. And then what do I do to find the unit rate?
Divided by 11.
Divide by 11. 280 divided by 11.
25.45 repeating.
25.45 repeating. So 25.5 basically. Okay? 25 and a half miles to the gallon. And then I need to use this 25.5 over 1, and I want 820 on top, but I don't know what goes on bottom.
Times.
Okay, so what do I do to turn 25.5 into 820?
Divide 820 by.
I multiply it by something. How do I figure out what?
Divide 8.
Okay, so take 820, divide by 25.5,
32.2.
and it is going to be 32.2. So I'm going to need about 32, a little over 32 gallons of gas to go on my 820 mile trip. Okay, that's kind of it's not that complicated. It's not that difficult. It's just there's a way to eliminate some steps by using a shortcut. So I want to show you the shortcut, and let's see what you think. So let me put a line down here. We're going to start in the same place. You have 280 miles over 11 gallons, and we're going to skip this part. We're going to skip the unit rate. So I want to have 820 miles here, and I don't know what that number is. We're going to do something called the fish method. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with, we're going to draw a picture of a fish. Okay? So find your variable. Oh, look, there it is.
Oh, look.
Start with the number that's next to your variable. This one's right next to it, so I'm going to start with it. I'm going to start with 820. Go times 11, divide by 280, and hit the equal sign, and it will equal that. And here's your fish. Kind of looks like you put a little fin on his head,
Oh, it's
a little happy face.
Wait, how did you do that?
Okay,
Times divide equals.
see where the variable is right here, and start right next to it. So we're starting with 280. Do 280, go diagonal, times 11, back up to the top, divided by 280, equals. And that's all you have to do in your calculator. 820 times 11 divided by 280 equals. So do that for me. 820 times 11 divided by 280.
32.
32.2 miles.
32.
or sorry, gallon, 32.2
Hey, we got the same answer.
gallons.
We
Go figure, we got the same answer.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Because it's math, it works, all right? Now, this way is totally mathematically valid, it works. This way works too, but it eliminates a step. Which way would you rather do?
That way?
I like eliminating steps. I don't know about you guys. And this sets up some stuff we're going to do later in chapter 7 when we're working with proportions, basically is what we're setting up. And we're going to be using this a lot anyway when we get to percentages and proportions. So typically I wait till then to introduce it, but now I'm going to try it this way this year.
If we do that on our assignment, do we have to draw the fish?
I'm going.
You do not have to draw the fish. In fact, I really don't like to see the face and the fins and stuff.
No, I
Uh,
mean,
but-
Should we just draw a fish off to the side?
You can do that as showing me your work. That's what you did. All right, let's try another example. A bakery can make 195 donuts in 3 hours. So the first thing you have to do is set up your rate.
time on bottom.
Time goes on bottom, 195 over 3. And then how many donuts will they make in an hour? So we're going to set up a proportion.
8 goes on bottom.
8 goes on bottom because it's 8 hours. So there's an X here. I don't know what that time is. So where do I start?
8.
8, go diagonal. 8 times 195 divided by 3.
520.
X equals 520 donuts in 8 hours. Okay? Let's try another one. If I can travel 300 miles in 6 hours, how long will it take me to travel 750 miles? Set that one up for me.
300 over 6
300 over 6 because time goes on bottom.
equals 750 on top.
Over X. So where do I start?
750.
750 times 6 divided by 300.
15
X equals 15 hours.
over 2.
Okay. All right.
That's
We're going to try it. See if this saves us some headaches for later. Here's your homework.
Oh,